You agree, others?
briefly, not time
No.
consuming.
No, I don't agree.
Why?
I want to get emotional response and from my other side, from my partner.
Audience.
Your audience, okay?
Yes.
So
Doctor, I think that it's depend on the audience. Who is she or he? Is he a colleague? Is he or partner? Is she or he or near or a close friend? It depends on the audience.
good,
And
okay.
also the message, and also the message is very important.
Yes.
Okay, so it depends on the message itself, and it depends on the person or the audience.
We are
Um,
talking.
okay. Right. So what do you mean? What kind of message do you prefer to send an email? When do you actually call the person?
For example, I prefer my colleagues call me and tell me I passed my OET exam.
Okay. Sure. All right. You wish.
Yes.
Okay. So how about email? What's the difference?
Email is just for broadcasting, sending the timetables of some, some timetables for, or I don't know what to say to Keshik in English,
Shift.
Shift.
shifts,
Roster.
or yes, or some, or for some studying materials. They are email. But for other things, we can quickly speak with each other by phone.
Okay.
Uh,
Uh,
email
yeah.
email can be, for example, a document that you refer to when you have the email or when you send it. But when you talk or call to someone, it's maybe he deny what he tell to you. For
He
example,
he might
s-
deny it. Yes. Okay. So
yes,
it's a kind of documentation when you email
yes.
someone. Okay. Right. So what else?
Or for example, on phone or call, we can express our feeling with intonation or something stressful speech, but in the email we couldn't uh, send our feelings especially.
Yeah. So we can
And
explain and we can actually show some kind of we can change our tone
emotions,
basically. We can yeah
yes,
we can show our emotions. Okay. Right.
yes.
So
On the phone or call, uh, if there is a mistake, we can clarify. But an email, maybe it is fault.
okay. So you can clarify on the phone. Uh,
Yes.
okay. Uh,
Can we say that there is less misunderstanding in phone calls?
yeah. Okay. So there's less misunderstanding when you make a phone call. Um,
No.
so what else?
Financially, I think mail is more financially than the economic than the
Okay,
phone.
it is cheaper. It is more economic. Okay.
Yes.
Uh,
And finally, our conversation in email is documented.
yeah, that's what said. So it's kind of documentation.
Oh, okay.
Okay. So
And the same time, we can a lot of message send with the email, but if we want to call, it takes a long time.
okay. So you can save time by sending an email instead of talking a lot. Guys, economical or economic?
It is
Economic.
economical. It is
Economic.
economical. It is economical, I think.
Okay,
Economic.
right. Okay, so
Because
yeah, so we say economical. We say a car is economical, or sending an email is more economical. Economic is, for example, you say economic growth. Okay, so we say
Yes.
email is more economical, but we say economic development. Okay, which is
yes,
Yes.
means it is related to economy. Uh,
Economic collapse.
that's right, economic collapse. So, well, basically, that's a good answer. It depends. That's a very political answer. Uh, uh, that's clever. So you never say yes or no. Um, so um, when you send a message, um, things can be misunderstood. Also, it's documentation. Yeah. But when you speak in person, you can show your feeling, express yourself better. You can clarify, and it is more straightforward. Another thing is when you send an email, you don't know when the person will get it. Yeah.
yes,
So um, basically, you don't know when the audience received the email. So when something is urgent, basically, you have to call. Okay, and you can get a response there and then. So also the response or the reply uh, can be delayed. So um, when you call them, you get an answer there and then. So you don't actually wait. Okay. Okay. Good. Uh, Now, um, so there is an article down here. Okay, and it says what different types of communication are mentioned in the article. Why do some cultures prefer written agreements to oral agreements? And what example is given of a misuse of communications technology? Okay, now what I would like you to do is to look at the article and answer these three questions in 3 minutes. Okay, okay,
Okay.
ready?
Yeah.
Yes. Okay.
okay.
Uh, okay, so I take the time.
And sorry, is it possible you, for example, magnify this? I couldn't download the file.
Okay, let's see if I can actually, if we can see the whole thing. Uh, it doesn't fit. Okay, what I can do is, let me take a snapshot and here. Okay, can you see that now? You can download it. Yeah, is it better?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes, it's better.
So,
Fluid.
okay, ready? One, two, start. 3 minutes. Okay.
You are going to ask us question?
Okay, time is up.
Okay.
So, what different types of communication are mentioned in the article?
Writing and speak. Oral and written.
Good, oral and written. And why do some cultures prefer written agreements to oral agreements?
It's
Because
based
it's
on
constant.
trust
It's based on trust. Only trust?
and custom.
Custom?
Customs. Customs.
Cus- customs, yeah? Customs?
Custom. Custom.
Cu- customs. So based on trust and customs. Okay, customs. Uh, please repeat for pronunciation. Customs.
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 Not O, it
Custom.
is
Custom.
a. Custom.
Customs.
Custom.
Custom.
No,
Customs.
it's
Yes.
not custom. It is
Yes.
custom.
I
Custom.
got it. I got it.
Okay, customs. Right. So based on trust and customs, what else?
Convenience.
Reliability.
Reliability. Okay. Uh, trust, customs, reliability. Okay. So, next one. What example is given of a misuse of communications technology?
Uh, sending
Buying so
sending
much phone. Text
sending
message.
massive.
Hmm.
Uh,
So, let's say one by one. Vesal, what did you say?
For example, in the Potsy Sander, a consultant,
Okay,
uh, have expressed concerns about the growing misuse of communication.
that's right. So that is
For
high.
example, very important information. For explain about that impact on the people's life is transmitted in ways to not respect the codes and values of traditional information channel.
Okay, so the example is given here that they just inform people that they are fired, call headquarters, okay? You are fired, call headquarters. So this is a misuse. So that is the example, okay, which is given here. Uh, right, okay. So, uh, what other ways of communicating are not mentioned in this article? Are there any other ways of communication?
Yes.
Face to face
Face to
speaking.
face.
Okay,
Speaking.
that's oral, yeah?
Yes.
Yeah.
What else?
Letter.
Letter.
Letters, letters, okay,
For example, in the past with smoke, one
right,
of the communication, or
yep,
Morse, for example, another
okay,
communication.
yep. So you can say with code communications, okay? Uh,
Yes.
all right. And do you know what we call when we code a communication? What do we call that?
Signing.
Yeah,
Secret encrypted.
Yep, encrypted messages. Okay, and yeah, that is good. Sign language. Yeah, signing. Yeah, uh, sign language. Was that okay? Yeah, sign language. So, yep. So encrypted or encoded languages. What is the difference between encrypted and encoded?
Uh,
Encrypt is hidden. It's hidden code. I think.
Right. Yes. Morse code is a code, or the smoke that the Indian Americans used was a kind of coding. So it was encoded messages, but not necessarily secret. So encrypted messages is changed. It is the code has been changed for secrecy. Okay, so that is encrypted. So the encrypted message needs to be decrypted. All right.
Yes.
Okay. So any other form of communication? So of those that you told me now, do you think that they would fit in oral or written communication?
Yes.
Do you believe in telepathy?
Yes. Sometimes.
Yes.
No, I don't.
Okay. Okay. Um, so, how about nonverbal language?
Yes.
Yep.
Body language.
Body language?
But
Yep. Nonverbal language, body language. Okay. Right. And how about inference? What is inference?
The noun of infer
Okay.
means interaction
To infer
between some.
means to infer means to imply and not to say something directly. Okay. It means you say different things or you write different things, but you actually are following a different meaning or a hidden meaning. All right. Uh,
Opposite expliciting.
yeah, we say explicit or implicit. Okay, explicit and
Im-
implicit. Okay, implicit. So explicit and implicit language. So implicit language means it is not directly understandable or it is not easily understood. Okay. Explicit, on the other hand, means very direct and obvious. Okay, so one of the question types in reading and in listening is inferences in OET. So especially in the third part of the listening and in the last part of the reading, there are inferences that you have to find out, and that is quite challenging for some people because you need to read between the lines, basically. So you need to um, understand the whole thing. Okay. Uh,
Okay.
so that is other ways of communication. How would you describe your culture of communication? Is it primarily written or oral? What do you think?
Certainly oral.
Is it?
oral.
Oral.
Okay. Oral. Okay. Um, so, in your opinion, have people become too dependent on new forms of communication technology?
Yes.
Okay. Tell us.
Yes, doctor. I believe in have dependent so much to new technology. We can see every person in transportation in public transportation with a mobile phone.
Okay. And what's wrong with that?
Dependency.
Oh, it's dependence. Dependency. Okay. What's the difference between dependence and dependency?
Dependency is noun,
Well, dependency is also noun, isn't it?
but dependent.
Is
Uh, de-
adjective.
dependence and dependency.
Dependence is adjective.
No.
Dependent. Dependent is dependent is adjective.
Mm-hmm. Dependency?
Is a noun.
Yeah. Uh,
Dependency.
also dependence.
Yes.
And
Yeah.
Yes. Dependence is noun. Yes.
I think dependency is about the drug or something like that, and
Okay.
dependence is noun of dependent.
Okay. So here it says a country that is supported and governed by another country. Okay. It is also used in medical terminology. We do use dependency in drug dependency. Okay. But in general, uh, dependence is the real noun for depend. Okay. So if I put dependence here, dependence is the situation in which you need something or someone all the time, especially in order to continue existing or operating. Okay? So the company needs to reduce its dependence on just one particular product. Okay? Uh, so basically, uh, the real noun for depend is dependence. But dependency is used in this sense, a country that is um, supported and governed by another country. So, in fact, even in medical practice, we have to use drug dependence, not drug dependency. Okay? The correct word is drug dependence. Uh, okay. So, yeah, you said there's a lot of dependence on the information technology or on the mobile phones. Um, so, uh, and do you think this is a misuse of communication technology?
Yes.
Is there any misuse?
Yes, there are a
Yes.
couple of misuse of communication technology.
Yeah. So, if I are too quiet, you need to say, or
Yes.
yes. You,
I think there is no misuse communication because I think the world is guide in this way, and there are so many phones out there, and the people buy new phones, and the modern type of communication is in their phone.
so you mean there is no misuse?
I think the world is guide in this way. No.
Okay. Right. So if I actually send you a message that you don't like, do you think that would be misuse?
I don't like, no. If I don't like, I say I don't like this. And if another time you send me, I block you.
Yeah. So that yeah.
I think this is the best way for communication.
Okay, because you can block them.
Yes.
Okay. Right.
If I don't
S-
like,
but there, so it is misuse. It is basically, it can be abused. It can be misused, but
Mhm.
you can also stop it uh, from going on. Okay. So yeah, that's a good example. If somebody sends you a message you don't like it. Uh, so how about others? What do you think? Do you think there's any misuse?
Yes. You sometimes someone takes something and she or he thinks another, but the writing uh, says another thing, and we don't understand what he or she means.
Can you give us a better example? I mean, can you be more specific?
Think sometime takes a message that, for example, I don't remember the exact text, but it's happened several times for us.
we can ask
Sometimes
about the message. What is your meaning?
it's very hard. Sometimes you first you become angry, and then it is very hard to uh, make him or her call. Uh,
To clarify. So basically, you ask for clarification.
Yes.
And another negative aspect of this technology is ability to spreading fake news and private news and other and bully and internet bullying, cyber bullying.
Cyberbullying. Okay. Uh, right. So, it can be used. So the communications technology can be used to spread fake news. Um, or what do you have another name for fake news? Rumors?
Yes.
Yes.
Gossips or rumors.
Okay. Rumors or gossip. Yeah. Right. Um, there is an expression called Chinese murmur. Have you heard that?
No.
No. uh,
Yes.
well, Chinese murmur.
Chinese, I think double N or one N.
No, that is correct. Yes, Chinese.
This.
Okay, so what is Chinese murmur?
I think based on the previous writing, previous text, I think it depends on rumors and gossips, or for
Okay,
example, uh, fake news.
okay, right. And do you know there's a
And
proverb in Farsi for Chinese murmur? No? Yek
mm,
kalak chel kalak.
oh yes,
So the
oh yeah,
Chinese murmur means you say something to somebody and they make it bigger and they make it worse and tell someone else. Okay. Um okay. So what is cyberbullying?
Cyberbullying is bullying through internet, through social network.
Okay. Guys, do you know what bullying is?
yes,
Bullying.
uh,
yes,
yes. Bullying means that when someone force another people and misuse of them,
Disturbing, hurt.
or disturbing, or yes,
Yes.
misusing them.
Okay. So misuse other people by force or forcing other people do things they don't like. Yeah.
Yes.
So
Yes. Insult them.
to insult them. Okay. Uh, so and we call a person who bullies other people. We call them a bully. Okay. So
Yes.
so bully can be used as a noun as a verb. Okay. So it's both we say to bully people, to bully others, and also he is a bully or she is a bully. Okay.
Yes.
Um, right. Uh, so um, you said that we can misuse the communication systems. Maybe you're too young to remember, but I remember when I was younger, when I was a teenager, other people called and they just hang up the phone. Um, and you didn't know who they are because there was no caller ID. Um,
Yes.
so somebody
Yes.
called you, yeah, no, without talking, they just held the phone or just hang up. So
Pull up, breathe.
blow up.
Pull up,
glow up.
breathe. Foot.
Breathe.
breathe.
Sorry.
فوت کردن.
Food,
Yeah.
food.
فوت کردن.
Okay, so to whistle and to blow.
Whistle.
Yes.
Okay. Okay. So yeah, so that was a type of misuse of communication systems. Um, Nowadays, do you think there's any way you can actually misuse, or it can be?
Yes,
Yep. How?
there are a couple of misuse of uh, com- communication system, like a massive advertisements to you with message or with email. It is one of the misuse of
Okay. Yeah, spam emails. Yeah, I agree.
yes,
Spam, massive
and
advertisements.
spam. Oh yes, and another thing, misuse of your private information, like noun or your birth date or something like that, national
Okay.
birth certificate, national birth
Right.
code, and yes, and another thing, for example, spying uh, and phishing.
Spying and also, so what is the thing that they do with computers? They get into other people's computers.
Hacking.
Yes.
Hacking.
Hacking.
Hack
Hacking. Yeah.
Hacking.
Okay.
and offensive comments. Comments.
Offensive comments and have you heard of defamation?
No.
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 So defamation comes from famous. Defamation means to write bad things about people, to take away their reputation or their fame. Okay. Uh,
Yes.
for example, if somebody writes or says bad things about you, you can go and say, "Well, this is defamation, and I want you to remove your messages or remove your comments." So, um, so
Cheating something.
yeah. So what
Doing
is doing?
doing them infamous. Infamous.
Infame, yes, to give disrepute, okay, to cause this repute, okay, reputation, bad reputation, to cause bad reputation. What is phishing? Do you know?
Yes.
So
Yes,
yeah,
create making a web page similar, similar official web page. For example, a web page similar bank, and deceiving, cheating on people.
okay. Uh,
Stealing the private and banking.
Gotcha.
Oh,
Banking details, okay, okay.
oh yeah.
So what is impersonation? Impersonation means um, you pretend that you are somebody else. Okay. For example, I go somewhere and I introduce myself as Robert Hutchison. Okay. You say, well, my name is Robert Hutchison, but I'm actually not. Okay. And then I go and open a bank account or I buy something. So that is called impersonation.
Yes.
Okay. Right. Okay. So we've got to here. Um, we so what did we do today? Basically, we learned about communication systems, and we what else did we do? Uh,
Vo-
some
Vocabulary builder.
Yeah, some we had some prepositions like on display in racks. We talked about some pronunciation like Spain, screen. Okay. we learned about compound nouns and collocations. Now, please remember that you cannot use all two words together. They need to be collocations, so you need to check them because you're not a native speaker. Now, for example, we say news conference. We don't say phone conference, we say telephone conference. But we need to actually check these collocations. So, yep, we talked about suitcase and suit without E, and suite, which is with E. And we talked about pronunciation of 15 and 50. And, right. And we discussed different types of communication and how we prefer oral or written communication. By the way, do you know what a word is? What does it mean? Word.
Word, a meaningful combination of letter.
Meaningful combination of letters. Okay. Anyone else?
The smallest meaningful part of language.
Meaningful unit of language. Okay. What else? Anything else? Now,
It's something that help us to make a sentence.
okay. So it's actually a meaningful combination of sounds which are called phonemes. Okay. And it is shown. So these phonemes, phonemes are shown by letters. Okay, so and here this is where it becomes interesting. Okay, so remember, letters without sounds have no meaning. And the letters are used to show sounds. Okay. Now, the reason I'm saying this is because I want you to pay attention to the articulation and how you say words, okay? For example, when we say s, okay, we don't say s, we say s. And these slashes are when we're showing phonetics, okay? I would like you to start working on phonetics because this is very important. If you say S screen, people don't understand you. So they say, what do you mean, S screen? Is that a kind of cream or something like that? So they don't understand you. But in fact, you have to say screen. If you say screen, they understand you. In the same way, when you are listening to a tape or to a conversation, when they tell you screen, then you understand. But if you always say a screen, you don't understand what they're saying. Yeah? Okay? Are you with me?
Yes.
Yes.
So this is what I would like you to do until our next session, to actually learn these phonetics. These are called the phonetic signs, right?
Dependence.
Okay, dependence. So, um, your job is much easier nowadays because you have the internet or the online dictionaries or apps. But in my time, I had to go through dictionary all the time to find the correct pronunciation, and we had to learn the phonetic to be able to find the correct pronunciation. So, in a way, your life is much easier now. If you have a look at these, um, basically, what I would like you to do is to look at these and see what the phonetic uh, signs are. Okay, so for example, this one is fish. It is a very small e and sh, or tree, which is a long e. Okay, if you have any problem, then you can ask me next time. But basically, this is what I would like you to do to make sure you check the pronunciations, okay?
Okay, doctor?
And if you have any problem, then let me know. So how it helps you is that you can speak better and you can understand better. And that is this is required for your listening and your speaking. And this will be very helpful. So make sure you do that. Okay. Any questions?
No.
No, doctor.
Uh, okay. So I hope is helpful. I'm not sure how it works, or if you're happy with this. I don't know how it works really. It's up to you. Think about it. If you think it is useful, we can continue. If you think it is not, then obviously, and we have to think about something else.
Excuse me,
Yes.
doctor. How many sessions do you think we need in this way?
Uh, um, but to be honest, I can't say. Basically, if you look at the book I sent you, there are uh, some key messages. You look at the first part and the second page here. Okay. So you see, I try to be a little bit more selective with the topics. Basically, the problems I think you have, I try to choose them like articles, like present perfect and past simple. Okay, but as you
Yeah.
can see, I skipped this present simple and present continuous, or we might actually need to look at those because they are helpful. But I leave these first two for yourself to practice, okay? Which is WH questions, count and non-count nouns, and prepositions of place. Um, I tend to choose, and basically based on your speaking mistakes, I try to choose a topic and work on that.
Mhm.
Okay.
Yes.
So, but I really I cannot predict how much you would need. Um,
In average,
um, well, to go up one stage from, for example, from lower intermediate to upper intermediate, you need at least 100 hours of meaningful and directed learning. And you
mhm,
can do some of that yourself.
mhm,
Um, so, yeah. So I would say it depends on how much you actually work and how much you practice.
mhm.
There is no definite answer for your question.
Yes.
Okay.
Okay. Thank you.
Well, you can see how it goes. Um, I think it is good to have a teacher every day if you can, uh, someone who you can actually sit next to and speak face to face. That is the ideal way. But if it is not possible, then it's not possible. So you have to do something. Uh, there are some videos um, on YouTube. I don't know if you watch them. Have you watched YouTube videos?
Yes. Yes.
Sometimes.
Yeah, yeah. So there are some teaching. Okay, so um, learning English. Okay, so if you just go and search, okay, learn English, and there are plenty of channels, and they are very helpful. Okay. So you can actually use these, and they are quite helpful, and some of them very interesting, like how to do an Irish accent or how to do Australian accent. So I suggest, because you do a lot of Australian, so go for Australian accent. Okay. Uh, So if you search OC English, okay, so that's you will actually learn to speak how the Australian people speak. Okay, so yeah, plenty of material here, so you can use those. Okay, any questions?
No, thank you.
No, thank you, doctor.